Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver issue number 4. That's right, folks, this is the finale. But don't worry, because at the very least, Wanda will return with Scarlet Witch number 1. So here's what's happened. Scarlet Witch got a book. It ran for 10 issues. Great book. She got a mini-series that ran for 4 issues with her brother. Good book. She's getting another number 1 in a couple of weeks or months or whatever. What? Could we not just have this go to issue 15? Really? Very weird. Because, like, it's 4 issues of the Quicksilver miniseries to the Wanda story. Could we not have that just be 11, 12, 13, and 14? Are the sales not working that well? It's so weird. But whatever, it's just a continuation of all that. A lot of stuff happens in this book. Like, we wrap up a plot line and then we wrap up another plot line. And we just kind of like set up another one altogether. So the big bad isn't really like beaten. I guess the big bad would be the wizard of this book, because the wizard's working for the imminence, but if you perceive the imminence as the big bad, they weren't defeated. It's just the wizard that gets defeated in this issue. So they're on his secret base, and he's like destroying everything, and it's going good. The Vision is holding up like some structural foundations so the Maximoff twins do not get killed. It is not looking good, and in the chaos of everything going on around them, Wanda reveals, this is my fault that we're here. Because of that, I'm going to tell you the truth, Pietro. This is the thing that our father, or maybe our father Magneto, said in the letter that was meant for you. He thinks you bring out the worst in me and I bring out the worst in you, and if we're together long enough, we'll destroy everything in our path. Chaos incarnate. We could either destroy the mutants, and we could destroy the world at the same time. And he thinks that's bad for both of us, but he also remembers killing you one time in House of M, and he believes you were better off dead and you should have never come back, and that Wanda would be safer if Pietro never come back. And he's like, oh, well, no, Magneto's dead and I'm alive, so I don't care, and I'm not going to die next to Vision. So I'm just going to outrace death and then live as long as I can, because, you know, screw it. Let's save the day, sis. You mean to tell me the words that our father said to me was that he hates me? Yeah, no shit. Let's just get on with it, okay? Go full demon mode, sis, and let's go kick some ass right now. And that's what happens. Wanda goes full demon mode, literally lashing out in like weird tentacles and some weird wings and everything, and it's just going to be a big slap fight. And she's just going to destroy the wizard, but he's just going to freak out because my eminence, it's a thing of science, and you too, you are just like destroying the set path of existing. By existing, you are ruining what could come. You know, what does he say? You both express the Red Queen hypothesis. Each new challenge strengthens you. You are without limit, left alive. You endanger the very bedrock of the universe. Like, okay. That's kind of, what a weird thing to do. Like, that's not something we've really seen from these characters. In recent time, they haven't had a lot to do together. The Maximoff twins, of course. But the idea that the two of them together both represent something that is without power, but it's not on, like, the level of, like, an Omega mutant. It's something different. If, you know, Pietro taps into enough speed, it could literally, like, reverse time or change the flow of time or something. And Wanda represents chaos incarnate, and she could do a lot of destructive stuff with, like, her chaos magic or whatever. So literally, like, divine beings from across the world want to destroy them. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Okay, I like that. Vision fights off, like, the Frightful 400. It eventually leads him to speak to the Imminence, and it's just like, oh, a machine. What will you have say to me? It's like, I don't know, I'm just going to explain to you, like, what life is. And then the Imminence is like, okay, I get it, bye. Shuts him off. Like, yeah, Vision could have, like, a whole page dedicated to, like, some beautiful speech that he's given. But, like, time is good, space is good, all these things, they must come together to form this pattern. And it's just like, okay, boop. I'm just going to shut this off. And it shuts him off. Meanwhile, Pietro is fighting the wizard. He's not looking too good. He gets burned by the wizard and immediately just like jumps into the water to save himself. And then it's just looking like a big fight. Wanda's throwing all her magic at this guy. Is it doing anything? It's doing some stuff, but then it's Pietro that comes in with the winning blow. breaks his helmet because he can vibrate at a frequency so fast underwater, it's going to burn no matter what type of fire it is. So then Wanda just uses like her magic and whammies him and drakes him to a disgusting pit. Just, the wizard's going to some scary dimension. And Pietro's just like, oh, like, where'd you put him? He's like, he's in a pocket dimension. He's doing a thing. He'll learn a lesson there. That's scary. That's scary that you can do that, sis. But okay, I'll go get Vision. I guess we just did it. The imminence is not here yet. We destroyed its adversary and its like interpreter or whatever. So all's well that ends well. A problem for another day, which is exactly what they're going to do. Because we cut to later, we head back to Arlington, we go to Vision's place. He wakes up from his weird coma talking to Wanda, and she's like, yes, everything's good now. Everything's fine. Pietro's celebrating with Monet in her own way, and they're good. Everyone's kind of good. But are you okay, Vision? You kind of took it hard. He's like, I'm okay. Luckily, I have a daughter in Viv, and she backed up all the stuff that I had because we share the same whatever, They're both machines, and he made her, so they like share like a network of backups and bullshit and whatever you want. So she was able to analyze it, learn a thing or two about what's going on, and it looks like the imminence is still coming, and it's going to come because it really hates the idea of Wanda and Pietro being alive and being a part of the cosmos. And she's like, okay, well, we'll deal with that at a later time. Like, okay, a being as powerful as God itself wants to come to destroy me and my brother? Well, that's just a Tuesday. We'll deal with that later. Wanda's going to head off because she's got plenty of work to do, leaving the Visions to just have a good, father-daughter, whatever's going on there. We then cut to weeks later. Weeks have passed now between stuff that has happened, okay? So we wrap that up. The imminence is still coming. Scarlet Witch is still getting a spin-off book. Weeks later, to wrap up this mini-series, we have Wanda and Pietro walking through a park, and Pietro's just kind of, like, angry at himself for what they're doing. He doesn't want to be here. He knows his father sucked. He knows everything's bad. He doesn't need to have this conversation. Like, he's had it a million times in the span of a minute because his brain works that way. He doesn't need to do this. But, Magneto's back. I like that between the 4 issues, Magneto died. That's the crux of the book. Magneto's back. We have to have the conversation with Magneto. Because he hasn't really been in the book yet. Even in the Scarlet Witch book, it was Yosef, who was the clone of Magneto and all that stuff. So he's back, and he's trying, or Wanda's trying to get Eric to talk to Pietro. Just like say something, whatever, just be polite to him in some capacity. But because they are both two standoffish men, Magneto realizes that him and Pietro have a lot in common, and they're a lot alike. But he's not going to mince his words. He's like, I think you endanger your sister. I think you endanger a lot of people, and she coddles you. She enables your worst impulses. And I do think you would be better off dead. I think she would be better, and the world would be better if you two didn't mess with each other the way you do. I don't think you deserved a resurrection. And he's like, yeah, well, same to you, Pops. All right, sis. I'll always make time for you. Peace out. Love you, sis. Bye. I'm not going to put up with our chaotic, undead father. I'm just going to go. And he's like, he'll understand eventually. But Wanda's like, don't worry, You might think we're chaotic together, and that is true, but we're also stronger. And we have always broken rules. We're good together. We can accomplish the impossible. And that's where the book ends. In a really interesting way, because the Scarlet Witch book, the 10-issue series, that ended with her losing Yosef, which she played as her surrogate father saying the things she never got to say. And now her father, whatever the continuity is, Magneto is back, and it's her saying to her father that, they might be chaotic kids, but they are okay, and they can help each other and actually have some strength in what they do. And I think that's pretty cool. It does kind of wrap up the narrative crux that this book opened with, which is what was the note that was left for Pietro. It gives Pietro something very in character to do and end on, and allows Scarlet Witch to be handled in the same brevity we've seen her be handled this entire book. So I'm not mad at any of the stuff we see happening here. It's very interesting. well handled, and the type of story you just wouldn't expect to see from these two. So I like it so much. It was so much fun to have this happen. I'd be okay if Pietro came back in the Scarlet Witch book. I don't think that's like what Orlando wants to play with at the moment, so I'm not going to be mad if he doesn't show up as like a mainstay. But that's fine. You know, we have like a threat showing that we could do something with in the imminence. Whatever that's going to look like, we'll get there eventually. It could be the next thing that happens to Wanda. It could be a big thing we're going to see happen if we ever do a Scarlet Witch movie and we need a event for her to lead. Maybe. It's good stuff, though. So, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver issue number 4. I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.